Greetings, folks. So the background to this video is the limitations of large language models when it comes to proofing. So I was asking DeepSeek, and then I asked Gemini about which formats can be read. So apparently, large language models can't actually read Word files or writer files. They can only read TXT files and PDFs. But here's the thing. When it reads the PDF, it does a sort of an OCR scan, an optical character recognition. And so it gets the formatting of the PDF, but it can make errors. Whereas if you upload a TXT file, all of the wording, but it doesn't have the formatting marks. And so, for example, what's in italics, the superscript numbers, superscript symbols, it just has the raw text. So for proofing, I thought, hang on a minute, what happens if I upload both? So this is just for myself in my own to-do there and about, and I was advised by the large language model, hey, just refresh it because of context rot. So I'm now going to go into the prompt, and I've also posted it in the description of the video. So here we go. Now, I actually had some help with this prompt from DeepSeek, and I explained my whole philosophy to it, and it gave it. And then later on in this video, I have, I think, Gemini's assessment of the prompt. Yeah, there it is. There's Gemini's assessment of the prompt. So here we go. I'll just read through this in case you're on a mobile device. Please proofread the documents using the following method. Primary roles of each file. TXT file. Use this as the primary source for all textual content. Check here for spelling, grammar, punctuation, consistency of terms, and correct wording. Assume any plain text abbreviations. I would have written such as TM in the TXT will be correctly formatted in the final output. PDF file. Use this only to verify the final intended formatting. Check if elements that should be bold, italic, superscript, subscript, or use special symbols, TM, R in a circle, etc., are correctly rendered in the PDF. Also note any major layout issues, such as incorrect page breaks or corrupted characters. Compare the raw text. I'm going to edit this, because I don't like that like. Compare the raw text in the TXT against standard English conventions while making allowances for the established idiosyncratic terminology, such as, this is my own pronoun system, this is just me being a weird INTP, and the specific capitalization rules defined in the text. Use the PDF only to confirm that formatting commands implied in the text, such as footnote number 1. Actually, it's not a footnote, it's a chapter endnote, because footnotes are rubbish on ebooks. They don't work. Appear correctly, e.g. as superscript 1. List all errors in the textual content clearly. Separately, list any formatting discrepancies where the PDF does not match the implied or standard formatting, e.g. a footnote number not in superscript, a missing italic, a stray symbol such as in the middle of a text. The reason why you want to have all of this in the prompt is that if you're using something like Google Gemini, they really now have a short quota on using it in Google AI Studio. Before, you could go in there and have 8 hours worth. But now they're rationing down. So you have to get your prompts right, because you don't have many queries or reruns of prompts. The TXT and PDF were exported from the ODT master. So if you refer to the master if you refer to the master, that is the master that you can't read, unfortunately. If you can now read ODTs, please let me know, because at some point they might actually read ODTs, and then we don't have to upload these to a TXT and a PDF, because it can just analyze the ODT or the Word file. Please use the in-document this is more specific to me, because I like a paragraph code, because it helps with discussion. Imagine your readers out there able to ask you and others, well, this paragraph here and that. It just makes citation easier. And also, page numbers don't work on ebooks because people can change the size of the fonts. But paragraph codes will work on ebooks. And so the paragraph codes will always be the same across any edition. Please use the in-document paragraph codes, because sometimes there are interpolated paragraphs, because those were interpolated after indexing. Yes, because sometimes I might put, for example, 110A. But when I'd already indexed all the material after that, so 111 onwards, and I don't want to change the indexing, so I interpolated it. Include a rating out of 100 and set in the degree of errors. List what the scores mean and state which level is self-publishing level and which is publishing house level. Be objective, especially if you incidentally refer to the content. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, these publishing houses they employ proofreaders and that lot. So you need to bear in mind that TXT has been exported from LibreOffice Writer, and thus the TXT does not include formatting such as bolding and italics. You should refer to the PDF when commenting on formatting errors. Don't use slash when you mean a hyphenated compound. To me, slash means or per. So grammar stroke number agreement means grammar or number agreements. Right then. Tick. So that's now. This is, so that had a lot of help from DeepSeek, and I was just thinking of changes like such as then, even in the middle of the video, that pedantic backseat driver make that change, even though it makes no difference. Anyway, so why this is the optimal version. Okay, so let's go in a bit. Oh dear. I should have screenshotted this better, but I'll read it out. The change. The style clause integration. You added, while making allowances for the established idiosyncratic terminology, yeah, and specific capitalization rules defined in the text. Yeah, so for example, if you have a particular thing in your style, you don't want that being flagged every time by the by this proofreader, by using large language model in proofreading mode. Again here, this is the critical safeguard. Without this, a standard proofreading bot would flag every instance of, if you want to use particular pronouns or whatever, or Gen X as an error. This instruction forces, you see, the thing is, I use Gen Xer in a lowercase because, to me, Generation X is not a proper noun because it refers to a class of people, and that's not a proper noun. So there. So I deliberately do it in a lowercase g. This instruction forces the AI to distinguish between mistakes, typos, and choices style. It protects your narratorial voice. Implied formatting logic. Use the PDF only to confirm that formatting commands implied in text appear correctly. This bridges the gap between the two file formats. It asks the AI to perform a translation check. It ensures that dialogue, that example there, that in the text actually becomes with the superscript in the visual file. This is often where export errors happen, e.g. numbers stay in full size, and this prompt specifically targets that failure point. Source of truth hierarchy. The explicit defining PDF as the verification source. For visuals, eliminates the noise. The PDF text extraction is notoriously messy. Random line breaks, headers merging with the text. By telling the AI to ignore the PDF's text stream for grammar checking, you use the clean TXT instead. You drastically reduce false positives. So, ODT protocol. Okay. Retaining the note about the ODT master maintains the chain of custody logic we discussed. It keeps the AI informed about the origin of the files, which helps it contextualize any weird exports, artifacts, conclusion. This prompt is now fully tuned to your specific workflow and writing style. It's rigorous enough to catch actual errors, but flexible enough to respect that's just my own thing. We'll all reverse. More on that in future. Novella out soon. I'm going to be checking these chapters. Yeah. So I did this. This is for the Appendix 2. I did an Appendix 2 on the Enneagram that I call the Enneafixes because I have a very particular interpretation of the Enneagram, which goes back to its roots, where I don't like them being talked about as 9 types. I like to talk about them as 9 fixations, but that's neither here nor there at the moment. The point is that this is an example of the kind of errors it found, and just my own particular workflow is I screenshot the output, and then when I've made the change, I highlight it in green. And so here are some examples. Again, it's just corrected the spelling of trifix. I don't know why it didn't come up in my spell checker. Yeah. I don't know how the heck personality got in there. Yeah, and then these little things that slip through. Deary me. Now this is about 5,000 words. This appendix, well, 4,000 words, and it is about 12 pages. So I didn't do too badly. And that was after I flipping proofread it manually. I still found those errors. Right, formatting layout. Right, numbering error. In the main text, PDF page 6, last paragraph, the phrase in title billing is marked with superscript 13. However, the previous footnote in that same paragraph, initiate, is also marked as 13. Endnote section. So you can see how the using paragraph numbers can help with it navigating, can help you to find where you are. The superscript in the main text should be changed to highlighted in green. I made that change. And then here, the large gap. It was one space. In PDF page 10, last paragraph, there is a large irregular gap between the words lightning. But you see, that's the thing. The way it scans it, what is a double space, an accidental double space? Because I like to have double spaces between sentences because it makes readability easier. And there's not a setting for that in Writer, so I use the command that shows the formatting marks. So I look for that to make sure there's double spaces between sentences. But my point is that is probably an error that you get with, because it doesn't, it runs a PDF through an optical character recognizer. And so again, that double space probably became larger to it than it actually is. It might not just be exaggerating. Idiosyncratic usage. Yeah, because as for some doing, something makes no sense. Again, but that's just specific to me. Yeah, I use Greek letters for subchens. Yeah. So that's just specific to me. Now, this was about what we can do to get DocX support and ODT support, so we don't have to use this process. And proofing would be a lot easier if you can ask, if you want to get petitions up or at law, or start discussions and asking for ODT support. It will help with proofreading. A lot of people need proofing. It's almost as if, are there a bunch of office workers who have a union and have paid these large language models not to have the support in this area? Right, if you're on the exact use case that ODT supports is a necessity, not just a nice to have. You're absolutely right. For proofreading, editing, and collaborative writing, this is probably from DeepSeek, ODT is often the primary working document for millions of users, especially in academic and research circles where open source software and open standards are preferred, non-profit and NGO sectors so this is why we need ODT support, where budget constraints make OpenOffice a standard, in regions where it's cost prohibitive. The point is, this is why we want ODT support, so we don't have to do this workaround. And I asked, not many people have suggested this workaround of doing the TXT with the PDF. So this is an interim solution before we get ODT support. So if we do get ODT support, then this is what we get. It preserves the metadata and change tracking, unlike TXT ODTs can contain comments, track changes, styling directives. Right, and then it then can look for consistency with the directives. Eliminates the dual export burden. The current workaround, ODT to TXT and PDF and AI corrections back to the ODT, is inefficient and error-prone. Direct ODT support would create a seamless loop. Structural integrity. Complex documents with tables, lists, and embedded images lose their structure in text export, making context harder for the AI to grasp. Your insight is key. Framing the request for ODT support around this is the file format where the actual writing and editing happens is much more compelling than generic feature request. Right, so please ask for that. Think of it this way. Asking an AI to proofread a TXT of a novel is like asking someone to proofread a photocopy of a manuscript instead of the original with the editor's margin notes. You lose vital context. So what we can do, not me, because I'm lazy, you. My part is doing this video, but petition people. When you request this feature from DeepSeek or Platform, frame it just as you did here. For proofreading with substantive editing workflow, many writers and editors work directly in ODT files. Direct ODT support would allow the AI to access crucial editing metadata like comments, track changes, but a much more useful and seamless collaborative tool. This specific use case driven feedback is fine. Right, so if you let them know, this is why we want ODT support. Now, the fact that you use, how does it know I'm meticulous? I'm making an assertion. Oh, okay, yes, I am a self-identified person. I use an ODT as your master document is a perfect assessment for this. They do get sycophantic, don't they? Where serious long-form writing and careful editing, yeah, pedantic and all of that, and still has all of these errors. Right then. There we go. So that is the end of the video. And the prompt is in the video description. Feel free to adjust as you like. Your mileage